Hey, everybody. So for February, Julie and I decided for Black History Month, we really wanted to highlight some African American cemeteries and some of the people who are buried here. So today I'm at the Pinewood Cemetery in Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, we just got the biggest snowstorm we've ever had, I think. Um, it is about 44 today, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to take you around and we're going to learn about some of the really influential people and founders of Charlotte that are buried here. As you can see, it's pretty beautiful with the snow right now. So let's go take a look and learn.
This cemetery is part of the Elmwood Pinewood Cemetery, which dates back to 1853.
We've got Uptown Charlotte here. The Elmwood side of the cemetery is over this hill, and this section is one of the Pinewood cemeteries. There's actually three because they were separated by the construction of I-77 in the late 60s. And we're going to visit all three today. We're also going to do a little cleaning while we're here today.
While Elmwood and Pinewood cemeteries were operated and appeared to be one, they were separated by a fence and had two distinct entrances until 1969. According to the Mecklenburg County Historic Landmarks Commission, 9th Street Pinewood included plots available only to African Americans. Originally, no roads connected Elmwood and Pinewood cemeteries. African Americans used an entrance on 9th Street to enter Pinewood. This entrance had no paved streets, no peripheral fencing, and no curbs or gutters. In the 1930s, a fence was erected between Pinewood and Elmwood, standing as both a physical barrier between the burial grounds as well as a symbol of racial discrimination in the community. The system of strict racial segregation set up under the Jim Crow laws of the early decades of the 20th century dictated not only where African Americans could work, eat, shop, and socialize, but also where they could bury their dead. To emphasize the boundaries between the already segregated Elmwood and Pinewood cemeteries, a fence was erected in the late 1930s between the two burial grounds. At one point, a no trespassing sign was added to the fence. It's a warning addressing visitors to Elmwood. Years after the city of Charlotte voted against discrimination in the sale of cemetery plots, the fence between Elmwood and Pinewood continued to stand as a symbol of racial discrimination.
I thought it was going to be unbearable out here today, and I came out just to test to see if I could film or not. It's actually so beautiful and peaceful. So I think I'm going to get my gloves out of my car, and I got picked up some trash, so I'm gonna put that in my car, and then we're gonna keep exploring. I can also tell you, Julie and I are having two different experiences today. She is out filming as well. We've been texting this morning. 60 something degrees there, and she said she was putting on a tank top. I said, I'm adding layers as we speak. But it's actually really beautiful. It's very rare we get to see Charlotte like this, so it's kind of exciting.
Reverend Primus Alston was born enslaved around December 1856. He was the founder of St. Michael's Episcopal Church. This is the mausoleum of William W. Smith, one of the first Black architects in the city of Charlotte. Smith designed and built many structures in the Charlotte region, including the Mecklenburg Investment Company building on Brevard Street uptown, Grace AME Zion Church, a library branch and college buildings. You can still see his iconic brickwork on buildings in the area. Caesar R. Blake was a clerk with the Norfolk and Southern Railway in Charlotte. He was a member of the ancient Egyptian Arabic Order of the Nobles and of the Mystic Shrine. Prince Hall affiliated, also known as the Prince Hall Shriners, founded in 1893 in Chicago. Blake belonged to the Ramses Temple number 51 in Charlotte and served as the imperial potentate, later serving the Prince Hall Grand Lodge as the Grand Senior Warden.
I keep backtracking because I see memorials that I want to check out that I haven't got to see yet, and I keep getting distracted.
This stunning statue sits at the grave of Amelia Duncan. Though time may have cast its shadow over the details of her life, the grace and elegance of this monument bear witness to a life once lived. Thaddeus Lincoln Tate was a prominent African American businessman and civic leader who made significant contributions to the Charlotte community. From the 1890s to the 1940s, he operated Uptown Barbershop in the Central Hotel at Trade and Tryon. He helped found the Grace AME Zion Church that was built in 1886 on South Brevard Street. In 1904, he helped found the Brevard Street branch of the public library, the first free branch of the public library for African Americans in the South. Along with many other accomplishments, he was a true icon of his time. Daniel Jackson Sanders was an American clergyman, academic administrator, and newspaper publisher. He served as president of Biddle University, now Johnson C. Smith University, in North Carolina for 17 years, becoming one of the most prominent Black educators in the South.
Somebody made a snowman. When this cemetery was originally built, it was meant to act as sort of a park. Back then, there wasn't a Parks and Recs department. So people would bring their families here, have picnics, tell stories about the loved ones. I believe there may have even been a swimming pool on the Elmwood side at some point. So anyway, I'm glad to see that people are enjoying these grounds and that cemeteries can still be a place of celebration and joy. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this row of trees between these two roads is where there used to be a fence separating the Elmwood Cemetery from the Pinewood Cemetery.
Finally, in the late 1960s, empowered by the success of the civil rights movement, Black Charlotteans began a crusade to bring the fence down. Leading the fight was Fred Alexander, Charlotte's first Black city councilman and the political voice of African Americans in Charlotte. During the spring and summer and fall of 1968, Alexander argued the case for voluntary removal of the fence, fighting a white majority opposition within the city council. When Mayor Stan R. Brookshire broke a 3-3 tie in the city council, the next day the fence was removed by the Charlotte JCs, an African American boys organization whose members had volunteered repeatedly before city council to remove the fence. This fence, Alexander told Charlotte News reporters as he watched the fence come down, has always been an insult. It didn't mean anything to white folks, but when I was a little boy, I used to come here and see this, and to me, it was just the worst thing in the world.
There's about 5 or 6 young squirrels playing in the tree, hooting and hollering. For it to be such a cold, dreary day, the birds and squirrels are certainly really happy. Okay, we are going to start making our way to the car and head on to one of the other sections of Pinewood on the other side of 77. So I've got a little, I've been piling trash along the way, so I'm going to stop, pick that up on the way to the car, and we'll head on to the next spot. Okay, we're now at the North Pinewood Cemetery section. You can see the highway behind the cemetery here, and again here. We just came from the other side of that highway. Came kind of around and back through.
The city of Charlotte purchased this 15-acre parcel and established North Pinewood Cemetery in 1947 near the eastern edge of Biddleville. The city created it to provide additional burial plots for African Americans after all lots in Pinewood Cemetery were sold and West Pinewood Cemetery began to fill. Wilbert Harrison was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was an R&B singer with hits like This Woman of Mine, Letter Edged in Black, and Kansas City. So now we are at Pinewood West. The north part of the cemetery is probably about a half mile that way across the Johnson C. Smith field. And you can see 77 here, and if I zoom in, you can see the cemetery on the other side of the highway there. When all lots in Pinewood Cemetery were purchased, the city of Charlotte acquired this 12-acre property near the eastern edge of the Biddleville neighborhood to provide additional burial plots for African Americans. Its first burial was in 1935. Robert Langham Douglas was a professor of mathematics at Johnson C. Smith University for 45 years.
So one of the other reasons I wanted to film this cemetery in particular is because there's currently a proposal to expand 77, and by doing so, it would disturb the cemetery again. So there's been several community meetings, and the plan is not finalized yet. There's more community meetings coming up. But you can kind of see here, and I'll go down there, how close some of these memorials are to the highway. And you can kind of see behind me, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see the cemetery on the other side of the highway there.
The construction of I-77 in the late 1960s literally split the Pinewood Cemetery and displaced 87 graves. These bodies were moved to York Memorial Cemetery on York Road.
Another thing I'd like to point out here is that this cemetery might look like it doesn't have that many memorials, but there's over 600 in this west side alone. It's just that their markers have been lost over time. So even though it looks kind of bare behind me, where they would be doing the 77 expansion, there are people there. All right, well, the weather has turned against us. Not only is it cold, but now it's raining. I think we were supposed to get a little snow today. We'll see if it happens. So I'm going to head home. I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. I, for one, have been wanting to learn more about a lot of these people for a long time. Julie and I came to these cemeteries together a few times. And so I always, there was a few people like Douglas I really wanted to explore and learn more about his life. So I hope you've learned something today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
So, this is editing Crystal from the future. I wanted to give you a brief update because just a few days after filming the West Pinewood Cemetery, there was a meeting held by the city of Charlotte to discuss the 77 expansion. I attended this meeting to support the community and also because I was curious to see what their plans were for the cemetery and the displacement of the graves. So many people came to this meeting, and I really wanted to end the video showing you a clip of this meeting and how passionate the community is. So, this expansion would not only affect the cemetery, but also historic Black communities in the area, like McCrory Heights. These neighborhoods have been affected over the years many times because of these expansions.